Hello. I'm here to talk about the end of my relationship and um, how I'm moving on from it. Uh, so basically, my relationship did not end on the best of terms at all. Um, he blocked me, so we went no contact, basically. Uh, Not by my choice, by his choice. Um, we both did fucked up things to each other. Um, I'm not going to go into that, I'll just leave it at that. We both did fucked up things to each other, whether we did it intentionally or not, and whether we did it intentionally. Um, I'm not going to go into it, but there were a lot more things at play than I realized that really weren't acceptable from him and from me. Um, I mean, we're both human beings. We're learning and we're always evolving and we're always getting better. And so I guess what I'm here to say is I've learned to stop loving him as a romantic partner, but still care deeply for him as a person. Because I admire his character and his strengths and his a lot of stuff about him, but some stuff I don't agree with, but most of it I do. I try to focus on the good instead of the bad. Um, but he's he's very good human being, and he tries to be a very good human being. Um, and I'm sure he's going to do great in life, and I wish only the very best for him. Um, Contrary to that, actually the direct opposite. He thinks that I'm not going to amount to anything, basically, is what I basically gathered from the last text he sent me. Um, he basically said something along the lines of, if. Ah, shit, what was it? Damn it, I just had it in my mind. Uh. Oh, he basically said, you may think that you're changing and getting better, but if you're this way right now, you're always going to be this way. And that's just false. It's a false lie that I think he hopes is truthful. And I think to him, it was truthful, but it's not truthful to anybody else. Because I've learned so much from that relationship. So much. And I'll forever be grateful for that relationship for teaching me things sooner rather than later. And I'm sorry that it happened to both of us, and I'm sorry that it caused us both pain. But we both learned things and took things away from that relationship that ultimately will make us better people in time. Um, so, yes, I still care for him very deeply, and yes, I still have moments um, where I will want him next to me, or I'll think about certain things, or I'll replay videos that I have saved, or I'll look at pictures of him and I'll reminisce and I'll feel horrible, but I have to pull myself out of that and remind myself that it can't go back to being that way, because he won't let it go back to being that way. I mean, I'm all for trying again. I just don't think we should try again anytime soon. Um, Maybe in like a year we could try again, because by then I think I'll have made so much progress on who I am and the character of myself that I'm going to be a lot better, and I'm going to have learned a lot more, and that I'm going to do right by whoever is going to be with me. Um, and that's not just for me to be like, I'm going to be a pushover and I'm just going to let them do whatever they want. No, that's means I'm going to be way better about communicating things. I'm going to be way better at um, setting strict boundaries for myself, um, letting my boundaries be known, and just having everything be clear and laid out, and not allowing anything to become messy or complicated. But if it does become complicated, I will 100% try to work it through with them. Um, and if they don't think that they can uh, at least try to become better, um, I'll probably have to break it off. He probably should have broke it off with me sooner. My ex, he should have dumped me sooner. Um, but I think it had to go on for as long as it did for me to learn my lesson, um, and make progress in who I am as a person. Because I think if he caught me off sooner, it wouldn't have hurt me as badly, and it wouldn't have taught me the value of as much things and as many things as I do now. Um, but for trying again, I'm all for it. But he will never in a million years try with me again. Never. Not gonna happen. Zilch. Nada. Mm-mm. He could care less about me. He wants nothing to do with me. In his own words, that he wants nothing to do with me. So, pretty good about that. Yeah, I'm smiling and shit, but that hurts. But smiling and sarcasm is my way of getting over things that hurt. And it's a good coping mechanism for yourself, but you can only do that for so long as you're working through it with yourself in the background, and instead of just ignoring your feelings and what your body is telling you and the clutter in your mind, because you need to get rid of that shit in order to move on and become better. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to become more in tune with my emotions. I'm going to get a therapist. Therapists can be odd. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. You just have to find the right one for you. And until then, you just go through trial and error. And you can still learn things from therapists you don't get along with. It's just not as good and as fast progress as you would get from a therapist that you're comfortable with being and know well. So one of the things I did is the reason we broke up was that I traded nudes while I was with him in the relationship, and I continued to do so even when I said I was going to stop, and I will forever be regretful that I did that, and I'm never not going to be sorry that I did that. I'm forever going to be sorry for doing that and breaking his trust and betraying him. In my mind at the time, I explained it to myself in order to make it seem justified, but it wasn't. And I know that now, but at the time I was able to convince myself that it was justified and that it was reasonable that I was doing it. But now I know it's not. And I know it wasn't acceptable and it wasn't fair to him at all. And so I'm getting better at doing things and recognizing things and patterns and stopping them, and then resolving them and dealing with better ways to deal with them rather than hurt the people that I love. I am currently, just yesterday, my room felt suffocating, kind of, because it was dirty, it was disorganized, and it was decorated in the same way as when I was with him. So it just kind of felt like he was still here. And so I took everything out of my room. cleaned everything individually, and then I hung everything back up, redecorated. Uh, and some things from him, um, I have a little like memento box from things that I've kept over the years that are important to me, that signify like a point in my life. Um, and some of the stuff that he gave me, I put in that box, and some of the other stuff that I bought with my own money that um, was on a trip that we went to together to a fan expo in Philadelphia. We had 2 pocket watches that I purchased. He bought one for me, I bought one for myself. And so those 2 pocket watches are hanging over there on the wall. Um, and the necklace that he got me is hanging over there. And I'm not going to be like other people and throw it away, because it's not healthy and it's not fair and it's immature to completely shut out a part of your life and ignore it. It just is. Uh, you eventually have to come to terms with what is right in front of you. And those things will forever remind me of him in our relationship. And they're forever going to reaffirm the lessons that I've learned from it. And so, yes, when I see them, it's going to make my heart ache, but it's also going to remind me that our actions all have consequences, and that I needed that to happen. I'd prefer that it didn't happen, of course, but I think what came out of it was good. I think I've been able to turn it into something good. But I'm going to do a lot better. A lot better. I'm going to get myself a schedule. I'm going to fucking start school. I'm going to get a part-time job. I'm going to learn my driver's license. I already cleaned up my room. And the whole last week, I fucking cleaned the entire house, because it still felt like he was in the house, because we used to be on FaceTime all the time, and so all the areas that we were on FaceTime with still felt like his presence was there, even though he wasn't there. And so I had to rearrange a lot of shit to make it look different, and redecorate and clean shit in order to get his presence out. And I had to take multiple breaks during that, because it really did hurt to have to push him out like that. But I needed to stop clinging on to him in order for me to make progress. And that's not me shutting him out of my life, and that's not me ignoring him. That's me recognizing that right now the best thing for me is to acknowledge that he exists, acknowledge that I hurt him and he hurt me, but that I need to move on, and I need to get better at what I'm doing for me and for any future partners, and my friends, family, and past people that I've hurt. Friendships. There's certain friendships that I regret how they ended. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I was accepted to the college, but I'm not formally enrolled for classes yet, because I'm still setting up an orientation date. I'm gonna I just did that email like right before this started, and I'm gonna send them a follow-up email tomorrow if they don't get back to me within, well, let's say like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But yeah, I'm gonna be on top of the shit that I need to be on top of, and I'm gonna put structure into my life, and I'm gonna I'm gonna try. And trying's all that matters. And I've failed plenty of times before at shit, but I'm really gonna try this time. I'm gonna start doing shit. I'm not just gonna say I'm gonna do it. I'm actually going to do it. Um, and I'm gonna force myself to do it, and I'll see the results eventually. I'm already seeing the results in myself and my behavior um, towards certain people and towards myself as well. Um, it really helps not looking at those uh, like relationship quotes or any type of relationship, doesn't matter romantic, but any type of relationship advice or anything on social media is complete bullcrap. I'm sorry, it's horrible. They're like, never settle, never let yourself get disrespected, never do this, never do that. That's not how a relationship works. You're gonna get disrespected because you're opening up your vulnerabilities to a person, and eventually that person is going to touch something that hurts you, and just because it hurts you does not mean you throw them out of your life. You work it through with them and you help them understand why it hurts you and why you don't like it. And then if they respect that, that's good. But then if they don't respect it, then you leave. You don't immediately leave because they didn't do something. And you don't, no one is going to meet all of your standards ever. No one. They're not going to meet every single one of your standards ever. That's incredibly, like extremely rare. Almost no couple has that. Um, so some standards you're just going to have to realize that your partner can't do them. And you guys are going to have to work out what works and what doesn't, and what each of you can do and what you can't do. You're going to have to figure out what works for the both of you to get most of your needs met. And you can't just rely on them to make your day perfect. You have to put in your effort too to make sure that you become better, because you can't just put all your emotional weight on someone and lean into them and basically make them responsible for you being happy. That's not how this works. You need to invest in your happiness too in order to get anywhere. And yeah. Uh, like, one of the things I did today, just a couple hours ago, was I deleted my old Snap. Because that was the Snap where I would trade nudes with a ton of people when I wasn't in a relationship and while I was in the relationship. I didn't trade nudes with a ton of people while I was in a relationship. I only traded with like 4 or 5. And that was not acceptable, and I know that now, and it was horrible. It wasn't fair to him, wasn't fair to me, it wasn't fair to anyone. And it was a horrible act of betrayal, and I wasn't smart enough at the time to realize that, and I convinced myself into thinking that it was justifiable when it wasn't. But once I took a step back and really looked at it, I realized how fucked up it was. But unfortunately, that was only after he ended things with me. Oh, actually, no, that wasn't. Because I started trying and becoming better, and I quit doing all the trading and everything. What I think what my mind was, it was joining the like real end of the relationship with the ending of the relationship within like the last 2 weeks of it going downhill, because I could tell he was pulling away from me and shit. Like, you know they're gonna break up with you, you know when. But I tried. At the end, I tried. And I tried too late, and I'm gonna forever resent that fact that I tried too late. Um, it's just how it worked out. Um, but I'm gonna get better. And so that Snapchat account is linked to so many bad actions and so many toxic things and habits. And so I deleted that Snap account. I transferred over all of my friends that I'm still in contact with. Um, and I'm going to try to just keep those people on. And I'm not going to trade with anybody. And I haven't deleted it yet, but I'm going to once everybody that uh, I think matters is on my new Snap. And then I'm deleting that Snap, and then it's gone for good. Because, again, that Snap represents a part of me that I'm leaving in the past and I'm walking away from. Um, and I'm not ignoring that part of me never existed. It 100% did exist and it caused a lot of pain. But I'm going to learn from that part of me and become better than it. And that's why I'm leaving it behind, because I need to let go of those things, which is what I'm doing. Yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say. Long story short, I'm going to get better. I've learned from my mistakes, and I'm going to push onwards and leave. Oh. I'm going to leave my hurtful aspects of myself in the past, because they hurt people and they hurt me, and I don't want to hurt anybody. So that's what I'm going to do.